Hello everyone and welcome to this week's reviews. And with the Oscar season amongst us, now is the time studios bring out some of the most prestigious films, and I'm reviewing a couple for you today. First up is Jackie, with Natalie Portman playing former First Lady Jacqueline Kennedy as she deals with the assassination of John F. Kennedy. Let's take a listen to her performance.
You'll have to share something personal eventually. People won't stop asking until you do.
And if I don't, they'll interpret my silence however they want. Her brow furrows. Her lips are drawn. She holds back her tears, but she can't hide her anger.
Most writers want to be famous.
You want to be famous?
No, I am fine as I am, thank you.
You should prepare yourself. This article will bring you a great deal of attention.
Oh, in that case, any advice for me?
Yes. Don't marry the president.
Director Pablo Larraín and screenwriter Noah Oppenheim made the decision to focus on Jackie Kennedy's grief following her husband's death. This is a very intimate film, as we mostly see her in the White House mourning Kennedy and making arrangements for the impending funeral. It succeeds in transporting the audience behind closed doors of the White House, and what the reaction was within the administration and from Kennedy's loved ones. Larraín applies an almost documentary style to the way he films this, and it's an effective way of telling this story. Portman is going to get a lot of attention for how she captures the mannerisms and voice of the real Jackie Kennedy. But one stops thinking of this as a performance after a while. It becomes easy to buy her in the role. She really carries most of the acting heavy lifting in this film, but it also understands some of the subtlety required of this role. I also like how Jackie plays thematically, with the whole notion of the presidency being the American equivalent of the royal family, and the way the White House is built up as this grand palace. But it also plays with the notion of moving on and coming to grips that the President and First Lady have to leave this abode at some point. Except in this case, the reason Kennedy has to leave is a lot more tragic. Its unconventional style and structure might not be for everyone, but it worked for me, and I thought it fit the story Jackie wanted to tell. Next up is Lion, a story of a young man trying to find his long-lost family through the power of Google Earth.
You need to face reality.
Reality. Do you have any idea what it's like knowing my real brother and mother spent every day of their lives looking for me? Huh? How every day my real brother screams my name. Can you imagine the pain they must be in not knowing where I am? Huh? 25 years, Luce. 25!
Lion is a story that lends itself to being sentimental, and to director Garth Davis's credit, he does not overdo it. This really is a film in two parts. The first part centers on Saru as he is separated from his brother and mother, and ends up on the streets of India. And the film manages to show the sad realities of what happens to many children. Anybody who has read the plot knows he ends up in the loving care of adoptive parents, but the journey to get there is still one filled of uncertainty, and Sunny Pawa, the young actor who plays Saru as a boy, does very well in the part. The second part is focused on him as an aspiring hotel manager and his trek to find his birth mother. While it does feel like it's advertising Google Earth, it's still an engaging story, and we see how this affects him and his relationships. One does root for him to succeed, even if the way he finally finds his family feels a little too convenient. While Saru's Australian foster parents did adopt another Indian boy in real life, I don't think his brother really added much to the story and could have been cut. Biographical films often employ artistic license, and as long as they don't change things for stupid reasons, and rather to service the story, it is kind of necessary. This is one of those necessary things the film could have done without. Nonetheless, Lion certainly exists to be a tearjerker, and while I personally didn't go for the tissues while watching it, plenty of people will, and it does a decent job of telling Saru's story. See you next time.